In this video, I'll be going through how I got a normal amateur state league player to sign with a professional second division club in Spain. But before we get into it, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alan Derrida. I'm a full-time football agent and the founder of Australia's largest player agency, Elite Football. I've helped hundreds of players with representation, and we currently work with over 25 professional clubs across Europe, South America, and UAE. So how did I sign an amateur footballer from Australia all the way to a second professional team in Spain? Well, the player I'm talking about is Rico Salem, and the club he signed to was second division Real Oviedo from Spain. Now, while this only happened just earlier this year, we've been working with Rico for about 3 years. His journey first started with us when he attended our Melbourne event a few years back. So at the time he was 15. Now, super interesting with our event, we actually brought Celta de Vigo. Celta's the first division club from Spain, and we brought a representative from the club like we always do with our events. Rico was in attendance at one of these events. He had a lot of quality for a 15-year-old. Unfortunately for him, he was actually very unlucky. He actually rolled his ankle at the very start of the second day. So we can only see him for like 1 day. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember if it was the end of the first day or if it was the start of the second day. But really, we only saw him for about 1 day, which our events only go for about 2 hours each day. So not much at all. But collectively, the elite team and Celta did rate him, let's say. So we did like Rico's sort of effort and what he showed us. And after the trials were done, Celta did request to see Rico for a few months overseas to see how he would go with them over there. Now, this wasn't sponsored or anything like that, but after talking with Rico and his parents, they decided to take him to Celta for 3 months through us. And so from there, about 6 months later, he went overseas with Celta. He trialed with them for 3 months. Rico definitely hit the ground running with Celta, because after his second training session with the academy, the international area, he got straight invited to train with the youth team, and he pretty much maintained the training with the youth team of Celta for the whole 3 months that he was there. He constantly got invited to train with the youth team alongside, right? Which is awesome. It's something that not every player actually gets. It's really based on your level. So it was looking like Celta was interested in signing Rico with how we were sort of speaking after his sort of 3 months period. Rico came back to Australia, and we were sort of in talks with Celta for about 6 months, trying to plan to see if they wanted to sign Rico for the next window. And we were back and forth a lot with the club. Now, during these 6 months, we had another event where we re-brought Celta to Australia. Rico re-attended that event, so one of the representatives of Celta could re-look at Rico again, and it still looked like they were very interested in signing him. So everything was sort of good to go on that front. Unfortunately though, pretty much like a month later, once we started to really put pressure on the club, they decided that he wasn't ready, and so they pulled the plug on their interest for Rico. So it was unfortunate for all parties involved, but it's just what happens when we talk with big clubs. You know, this is football, it's business. There's different players that come into the doors all the time, and you know, clubs make decisions based on what they have in front of them, and it is what it is, really. It's never anything personal, but conversations fell through, and you know, we also decided the Celta wasn't the best place for him, and you know, priority was to sort of move on to the next project. And look, Rico at this time, I'm sure it was probably very hard for him mentally, because we did come so close and he did perform well. I don't think there was anything else he could have done, and really we did everything we could as well to get him across the line, but this stuff just happens. And so I'm sure for a period of time he was a bit begrudged with the whole situation. But flash forward about another year, a year and a half-ish later, we had more events, which were done earlier this year. We had another event in Melbourne, which Rico attended, where we brought Celta again, Real Oviedo, and also Real Avila. So we actually brought 3 clubs this time. And, well, Rico attended again. He performed well, no injuries again, and really showed what he had in these events. And, well, because we force clubs to select players and sponsor them when when we bring them for events, they all had to pick a player. And actually for Melbourne, Rico was selected by all 3 clubs. So obviously only one of them can take him, but he fully smashed it out of the park with his performance, and they were all interested. Now, I didn't really even have to talk to him about what I thought was going to be the best option for him, because I think he was already a bit still upset with the whole Celta situation, and so he personally decided to pick Real Oviedo. And so early this year, he went for a 1-month trials with Real Oviedo that this time was sponsored, and in which, while I was over there, he again hit the ground running. We got him to go straight and train with the youth teams. He performed. There was also a cup at the time, the Oviedo Cup, while he was there, so he was also competing in that, so he was able to show his game performance as well, which is really good. And so look, after a lot of conversation between myself, Mauricio, and the directives of Real Oviedo, which all this you'll be able to see in Elite Football Season 1 when it comes out. If it is out, just check the description, there should be a link there. But after a bunch of communication back and forth on what they wanted and Rico's future, we managed to get him a 1-year contract with the club. And so that was awesome, you know, happy on all sides. I'm happy, the club's happy, Rico's happy, parents as well. And so definitely something that he deserves, and something he fought for a lot, because it's not easy going overseas to a club for a period of time, it not working out besides you being so close, coming back, still sort of working towards it. Like his first trip, I think he was 15, and the trip with Oviedo, like only recently, he's 17, so Rico's, you know, almost 18 now. It's not an easy thing to have that persistence and keep going for it, and, you know, keeping the trust even with us as well as an agency. So I don't think it could go to a better kid, and I think I'm super happy for everything he's achieved and what he's going to achieve. And so we're very happy to be able to play that part in Rico's journey. So yeah, that's how I got an amateur player across the line and signing a contract with a professional club.